I wanna be the very best.
It's the final boss of basically your parents trying to get in on the meme, you know? Like that's where you're like, oh, it's not funny anymore. Yesterday I noticed that the DHS decided, and oh, thanks to the Vanguard for uploading it, to post another video. If you don't know, the DHS like official account seems to be run by just like some fucking groypers or something. I don't know. They just like, it's so cringe. They just post the most cringe memes. But the shitty thing is that they're posting cringe memes that are directly, you know, representative of the horrifying fascist, you know, policies of Donald Trump. So Donald Trump will do horrifying things like send ICE agents to, you know, kidnap children and then, you know, tear apart families and imprison people and throw them into the concentration camps. And then at the same time, the DHS accounts and the White House account will post really cringe ass memes. Like it's you know, it's bad enough that all of this horrifying shit is happening, but I guess that's part of it too. They want to laugh at you while they dehumanize you and mock you. And so they posted a Pokemon meme. I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. It uses the Pokemon theme and the clever idea of gotta catch them all, but they're talking about catching all of the immigrants.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
And then yesterday they posted one featuring Theo Von. And I was curious what Theo Von was going to say or do about it, but here's the Theo Von one. Like, it's definitely younger people who are aware of TikTok and aware of TikTok memes and aware of, like, you know, the utilization of different songs and stuff like that. So again, when they're used for fascism, it just makes them so goddamn cringy. It's the final boss of basically your parents trying to get in on the meme, you know? Like, that's where you're like, oh, it's not funny anymore. Yeah, you kind of took it away. Or when your parents start to use slang, that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, don't say that, Mom. No. Dad, come on. No, don't do that. Come on. You're better than this. So you get the idea, and yes, Theo Von was used at the very start of it, and Theo Von effectively put them in a quote tweet that got 260,000 likes and said, yo, DHS, I didn't approve to be using this. I know you know my address, so send me a check, and please take this down, and please keep me out of your banger deportation videos. When it comes to immigration, my thoughts and my heart are a lot more nuanced than this video allows. Bye. Now, I'm not going to be singing his praises anytime soon. I don't think this is necessarily him saying like, hey, this is disgusting, all of you should be ashamed of yourselves, and you'll hear from my lawyers. More kind of, you know, fence sitting in the middle. Hey, you should send me a check, but my opinions on the subject are nuanced. But hey, it's better than nothing. It's better than just fucking, you know, ignoring it or just letting it pass by because you were worried about if your audience would get mad if you said something about it. And they took it down. It gone. They deleted it. And so it turns out that the groypers running the official account do worry a little bit about what happens if there's legal repercussions or people calling them out and putting them on blast in public, and that makes them delete their cringe. So one cringe down. That leads us to cringe number 2, which of course is the Poke cringe. So, gotta catch them all. The US government is now using Pokémon to promote ICE raids. Fans of Nintendo and Pokémon calling the companies to take action. The US Department of Homeland Security is now posting Pokémon memes to propagandize its immigrant crackdowns and ICE raids, sparking backlash from fans of the game franchise who are urging Nintendo and the Pokémon company to take action. In a video posted to the DHS ICE account on Wednesday, the organization's social media team posted a video of raids and arrests by federal agents, setting it to the Pokémon animated series theme song and splicing it with footage of Ash Ketchum. The video comes accompanied the text, "Gotta catch 'em all," and featured mugshots of suspects altered to look like Pokemon cards. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection account chimed in with an attempt at humor of its own, calling Pikachu Border Patrol's newest recruit. We are aware of a recent video posted by the Department of Homeland Security that includes imagery and language associated with our brand. Our company was not involved in the creation of the distribution of this content, and permission was not granted for the use of our intellectual property. Now, this was the official statement from the company, which is nice that they're actually coming out and saying you don't have permission to do this. We're not associated with what you're trying to do. It also goes to show you that like fascists cannot create art; they can only destroy it. What they're effectively trying to do is appropriate, memes or things that are beloved, especially things from your childhood, and then turn them into something grotesque and ugly before your very eyes. And obviously, the effect is quite striking. It's very horrifying. It's horrifying to witness the shit that ICE is doing right now. But to both witness what ICE is doing and then have to watch that and see that video, it breaks your heart. And then that's with intent, right? It demoralizes you, and then all of a sudden you feel more defeated, and their project of ramping all of this fucking horrifying atrocities up can continue. So it is important whether or not they are doing very strong condemnations of it for people like Theo or Pokemon or the Pokemon Company or Nintendo to actually come out and try to get this shit taken down or call it out. The tone-deaf video that splices arrests and raids with a kid's cartoon quickly drew ire from Pokemon fans. "Just incredible how this pack of morons keeps finding more and more ways to be villainous," reads one top comment. On X, Pokemon fans hope for a strong response from Nintendo and the company, a rare instance of fans urging in favor of legal action for the notorious litigious game companies. Oh, yeah, I should also add that Nintendo makes some of the greatest video games of all time. If you're not a gamer and you don't play games, I just gotta say this so you can understand it. There's not a lot of other companies that have still been repeating the same 5 to 8 franchises over and over and over and over and over again, and making them new and visionary and captivating. Like, it has got to be the best software studio, I think, in the world. Honestly, it might be the #1 because it's just jaw dropping. Like, I'm really behind on a lot of video games, but I just started Breath of the Wild, Zelda, which I think is 2017 or something like that. And again, there's a lot of the same sounds, concepts, and then you're once again you are playing as Link and you're trying to save the world from Ganon and all this kind of stuff. But like how they keep re-envisioning something that has all the nostalgia cooked into it, but it's not just fan service or overbearing or like, you remember this, you like the sounds, you like when you hear those noises. I think I even have a couple of them here. This one. Yeah, when you hear that, you're like, whoa, my nostalgia, it's fucking, the dopamine is surging, all that kind of stuff. So, but Nintendo's also just a terrifyingly terrible company that treats their employees like garbage and also is really litigious when it comes to their copyright. For a long time, Nintendo was actually really bad about not even letting people upload their gameplay videos of their video games and trying to copyright strike them for that, which again is gross. Like, just let people show other people the gameplay. Like, are you serious? Are they infringing on your copyright by just playing through your games? It's free promotion for you, the company. When they watch their favorite, streamers or gamers play your games, they're going to want to play those games and they're going to get hooked and addicted. So I've never understood why Nintendo's so terrible about that. Also, really cruel and evil to fan service. Like, there are fans who make unbelievable pieces of art using copywritten properties. So it could be, for Undertale, it could be for Sonic the Hedgehog, it could be for Super Mario, and in the case of Pokemon, there's tons and tons of fan video games, fan movies, fan cartoons, fan comics, fan novels. Like, there's an unbelievable amount of art that is generated by people loving these properties, but they don't have the copyright to them, and this can't fall under, fair use or parody law. So in turn, Nintendo shuts them down at every turn. So like, did you make a cartoon and spend hours and hours and hours animating it painstakingly to make this beautiful cartoon, and then all of a sudden you upload it to YouTube, you might get a copyright strike from Nintendo who says you're infringing on their copyright. So they are famously litigious, which is why I was like, in this situation, the company that is so famously litigious has got to do something, right? They're obviously going to have to take a stance. Others are pursuing somewhat more direct action, referring to Pokémon fans to report the use of the Nintendo trademarks to its legal team. The Trump administration has brazenly used copywritten music from artists who prefer not to be associated with it for many years. In 2024, the White Stripes sued the Trump campaign's deputy director of communications for using the song Seven Nation Army in a video. The band later dropped that suit. The group joined a long list of artists who have issued cease and desist notices, otherwise legally opposed to their music being used by Trump, his campaign, and the Republican National Convention to little tangible effect. In fact, the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Border Patrol posted a propaganda video in June that featured the White Stripes' "We Are Going to Be Friends" just a few months ago on Instagram. Whether the fans' call to action and has any effect remains to be seen. I do want to add, by the way, both GameSpot, IGN, a bunch of other outlets reported on this yesterday, citing quotes from the former legal chief, but they were citing it as if like this is the official stance. Like the way it was worded and the way that like the headlines were there, a lot of people were just basically like, holy shit, I can't believe it. They're basically allowing the DHS to do this. This is just basically someone who used to be the legal chief, but is no longer the legal chief. And they're the one making the statement, right? Former Pokemon legal chief says, wouldn't touch Homeland Security video that used Ash Ketchum. Even though the Department of Homeland Security is using the company's Gotta Catch 'em All slogan to promote ICE, Pokemon's former legal chief said the whole thing will blow over in a couple of days. In response to the Department of Homeland Security's video using Ash Ketchum to promote ICE, the Pokemon company's ex-legal chief said he wouldn't touch it, suggesting some possible reasons why the company might not pursue legal action. This week, Homeland Security, we all read about that. Fans were understandably upset about this, with many in the comments begging for the company to sue the DHS. However, the company's former legal chief, Don McGowan, explained to IGN why they aren't likely to do anything. So this is just consulting against someone who used to work for the company and then asking them now in the present tense, hey, by the way, you used to work for the company. What do you think about this whole situation? And then you got a quote, right? It's not the same thing as this is the official statement from Nintendo or the Pokemon company. I don't see them doing anything about this for a few reasons. First, think of how little the company's name will be in the press. They are insanely publicity shy and prefer the brand to be the brand. Second, many of their execs in the USA are on green cards. Even if I was still in the company, I wouldn't touch this, and I'm the most trigger-happy CLO I've ever met. This will, what a piece of shit. This will blow over in a couple of days, and they'll be happy to let it. So, I mean, the good news is they decided to make a statement saying that they are aware of the video. Then the DHS does not have permission to use their copyright, and that's as far as it's gone so far. There's no new developments as of now. I don't know if there's been new stuff. If there is, let me know. We're aware of the recent video posted by the Department of Homeland Security that includes imagery and language associated with our brand. Our company was not involved in the creation or distribution of this content, and permission was not granted for the use of our intellectual property. So I don't know if this is basically, I mean, I'll assume based on my limited knowledge that this is them just putting out there, watch it. Not like, hey, by the way, we are declaring that we are going to launch a lawsuit or we are going to send you a cease and desist letter, just to say, hey, just so you're aware, this is not something you have permission to do, all right? Act accordingly. And now the DHS is going to have to decide, well, do we just leave it up and then hope that this is as far as it goes? It's really easy to delete it, but at the same time, they haven't said that they're going to sue us, and I don't know if they want the smoke, so what do we do here? We'll see.
First off, thank you so much to our patrons for making this show possible. We could not fund it without you. And if you want to join, please check out patreon.com/theserfs to unlock bonus episodes, uncensored content, and all the good stuff. Thanks to Anna Loves Riley, Addercap, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hegbard Salim, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet One 85, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Tigwick,